talk about the war in Iran that we're still in right now? Can we talk about that? Because I remember that one of the big things for President Trump was that he wouldn't put us in a war with Iran. That's not something that he would do. Kamala Harris would have put us in a war with Iran, according to Trump. But, you know, we would never go to war with them under him. We would never have any new wars under him. No, that would never happen. Now, I'm not going to say that people who trusted a politician not to lie to them are gullible. And I'm not going to say that people who trusted a politician who specifically joined a party that is specifically able to grift money away from people who don't know how to evaluate reality aren't to be trusted. I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to say there is a chance that they lie, that people in the Republican Party, and yeah, there's Democrats who do it too, lie to you so that they can get your donor money or that they can get power. Now, I'm just curious, what are we supposed to be doing with the Iran war? What's the goal with the Iran war? Because when you enter a war, you do it for a couple of reasons. You do it for resources, or you do it because you're trying to stop a country from doing something that is bad, or you do it for land. Now, maybe there's other reasons that you would do it too. There's holy wars and shit like that. But generally speaking, there is something to be gained. Marco Rubio, what is there to be gained in the Iran war?
As President Trump has said, and the facts clearly bear out, the United States of America holds all the cards. There is no scenario here in which if they decide to join a ladder of escalation, they wind up getting the last say. But our preference is for these straits to be opened to the way they're supposed to be opened, back to the way it was. Anyone can use it, no mines in the water, nobody paying tolls. That's what we have to get back to, and that's the goal here.
So, let me get this straight. The goal in the Iran war is to get us back to a time before the Iran war. To get us back to how things were done before the war that we started. That was our fault, Mr. Mark. Oh my God. Oh my God. I also have a funny post for you guys. Just, you know, this isn't my meme. I didn't make it, but Marco Rubio telling us that Iran is run by lunatics and religious fanatic lunatics, which, you know, is true. Their regime is using a very abusive form of Islam to oppress its people. Boy, howdy, what does a set of religious lunatics look like to you? Because this is what it looks like to me. Anyway, anywho, people who use religion as a cudgel, probably bad. That said, we're losing a lot of money to the Iran war. In fact, actually, Americans' financial situation has been pretty awful as of late. But we got a clip here for you that'll show exactly how awful it's gonna get. Now, where I'm living, gas has finally passed the $4 mark, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. The last barrel of oil we were getting from the Middle East came a few days ago, last week, basically, and while America is a producer of oil, there is a reason that we import as much of it as we do. We happen to use a fuck ton of it. The fight says we want to open the thing we caused to be closed to begin with. Yeah, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing right there. That's why we bombed a school, actually. Didn't you know that some fucking 10-year-old girl in that school, did you know that she personally said, close the Strait of Hormuz? Did you know that? She personally said that. That's why we bombed them. Justin says, Hannah said it's the first time she's ever seen $5 as the first digit. Yep. Lillian says, where I live, it's $6 to $5. Remember that the average wage in Georgia is very low. Melody says, religious lunatics? I wouldn't know what those look like. Can we see more examples of religious lunatics? Oh, I just looked at Fox News. Never mind. But with Americans' financial situations getting bad, inflation is bad under Trump, and gas prices are really bad under Trump, and even if you have an electric vehicle like me, the gas prices still affect you because that gas is used for the supply lines that give you your groceries. So, as Trump is thinking about charging American people $1 billion for his passion project of remodeling a ballroom, how does he feel about our financial situation as Americans?
So what happened is we have a ballroom that's under budget. It's going up right here.
It was $300 million that he was going to fund. Then it was $400 million that might get funded by taxpayers. And then it was $1 billion and $400 million, with the majority of it being funded by taxpayers. But it's under budget. Don't worry.
I've doubled the size of it because we obviously need that. And we're right now on budget, under budget, and ahead of schedule.
We're on budget, under budget. We're on budget, under budget. How do you be on budget, under budget?
I doubled the size of it, you dumb person. It's double the size. You are not a smart person.
Don't worry, we're off budget, on budget. You are not a smart person. I doubled the size of it. You're not very smart, actually. But, you know, that's not the only thing that happened during that particular interview. There's this one, too.
When you're negotiating with Iran, Mr. President, to what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon.
So, Mr. President, how does the financial situation factor into this? How do you think about the financial situation that Americans are in? I don't think about the financial situation of Americans. When people tell you who they are, when people tell you their opinions, listen to them. Let the words they say dictate how you operate. When the President of the United States, while you are being crushed by ever-increasing need for profit gain from every fucking company on the planet, when your president is telling you that he doesn't give a shit about your financial situation as he goes and puts us in another war and sends your sons, your daughters, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins to go die, he doesn't care about your financial situation at all. It doesn't factor into any of his decision-making. But you voted for this, so, you know.
I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all. That's the only thing that motivates.
A nuclear weapon that nuclear experts argued that he isn't even stopping because it wasn't being built. Not to the degree that he's arguing. Lilith says, yeah, I remember he said something like if the gas was $100 a gallon, that would be a great sacrifice or something like that, or compromise. What? There's no way. Okay, so there is stupid shit that the president has said. Stupid shit. Absolutely dumb. But there's no way he said that at all. I doubt that one. Justice says, I feel like there were signs.
This is the Jim Heath channel playlist of 2024 campaign ads.
Donald Trump has never, ever been right in the head.
The late, great Hannibal Lecter.
He's a wonderful man. An enormous, really an enormous. And then they announced there was no buys, no. Take a look at the oranges of the investigation.
Venezuela.
What are the oranges for, though, Jeremy? What are the oranges for?
If you have a windmill anywhere near your house, they say the noise causes cancer. I don't know what I said. They have voter ID. They have ID on everything. You buy a loaf of bread, you have ID. The first non-incumbent. The kidney.
When did a loaf of bread require ID? What the fuck?
He has a very special place in the heart. We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple. Injection inside or almost a cleaner. Is that an illegal ad? Learn more at psychopac.org. Anti-Psychopath PAC Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Okay, fair enough. There were some signs that he's not a person to be trusted. You're right. But it's really, really weird. It's really, really weird. The $100 a gallon thing. There's no way he did say that. Fountain says actually did say this about gas. There's no way. Yep, he did. Hold on. So this is the first thing I find when I'm looking that up. If somebody can find the exact clip, let me know, but this is what I found.
Haven't we learned anything from 25 years of unproductive wars in the Middle East? The answer, at least for President Trump, is apparently no. The price of a gallon of gas has gone up $1 a gallon since President Trump launched an unwise and illegal war against Iran on the 28th of February. That dollar a gallon is significant. Virginians buy about 8 million gallons of fuel a day. So this is $8 million a day that people are spending to buy gas in Virginia that they weren't spending on February 27 and that they wouldn't be spending, except for the fact that President Trump agreed to put the U.S. into a war in Iran. I've asked over and over again, haven't we learned anything from 25 years of unproductive wars in the Middle East? And the answer, at least for President Trump, is apparently no. Of course, he's not suffering with gas prices increasing because he's insulated from it, and a lot of his cronies are insulated from it as well. But everyday Virginians are not insulated from it. And that's one of the reasons why I am.
Okay, so I'm not seeing that there. Y'all can't manage memes at all. How to liberal. Joe Biden doesn't set gas prices. 2000, and then Trump gas prices are out of control. So, man, you want to know why this meme's stupid? Because while the president cannot set gas prices, the president can do things that affect them. Now, when gas prices were shooting up under Biden, it largely wasn't because of any lever that he personally was pulling. But when the gas prices went up under Trump, it was in fact because of a lever he pulled. You know, the one that put us in Iran. That one. But of course, it comes from a place called Trump to Save America. Man, something tells me that that is not a person that I should trust with anything. Anyway, it's really weird to be pro-Trump in a world where he's a child rapist. Axel says, the most hello fellow kids meme. It's also insane to me that we still use the same pictures. Like, we still use the same exact pictures from the original Trump campaign that were used to argue that liberals were out of their mind. We use the same ones forever. Certain memes never die. Over 9,000 died as a meme. You generally don't hear that often anymore. But you still see fucking Big Red and shit. It's insane. But yeah, Donald Trump doesn't give a shit about you. He doesn't give a shit about any of you. But every single one of you who advocate for him, not only are you advocating for a rapist, the E. Jean Carroll case proves that, not only are you advocating for a pedophile, he's listed more times in the Epstein files than God is listed in his own book, he openly says he doesn't give a shit about your financial problems. He is willing to put us in more useless wars simply because, well, he thinks there's a nuke there. And again, I'm sure there's WMDs in Afghanistan somewhere, President Bush, and I'm glad to know that time is a flat circle and we are back there once again. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitt, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.